Yes, Adil, you can start. Recording has been started.
Okay, everyone. So, welcome to this session on Introduction to Competitive Programming. But before we directly get into our today's topic, you might be seeing this logo right over here. What does this mean, right? So, who are we? We are CodeChef SCET Chapter. Now, CodeChef, you might know it is a website that organizes competitive programming contests on its website where you can go and practice them. And SCAT is our college. So what exactly is the CodeChef SCET chapter, right? So the CodeChef SCET chapter is a programming club ran by the students for the students. It is mentored by CodeChef, and our aim is to grow the culture of competitive programming in our campus via organizing various competitions and sessions on the topic competitive programming. Now, a chapter like this wouldn't run, of course, without its team. So, the core team is we have a faculty mentor, that is Professor Bhumika Shah. Then we have the president, that is myself, Hardik Shah. Then we have our competitive programming lead, Aadil Tajani. We have an events lead, that is Hed Dalal, a media and outreach lead, Siddhi Jariwala. Yet again, apart from this team, the chapter needs a lot of people to run as well. So the ones who help us out with all the things that we need throughout our organizing of this event are the executive team members. That includes Arpit Waghela, Feni Bhutwala, Rishikesh Patel, Rutvi Sutaria, Urja Rayajiwala, and Jeet Patel. Now, that was a lot about us, right? Let's let's leave that thing behind and let's go to our today's topic. So, what is competitive programming? But before we directly dive into what competitive programming is, what basically programming is? Programming is giving instructions to a computer to perform specific tasks. Now, competitive programming. It is a mind sport held over the internet. It is a mind sport held over the internet involving participants trying to program according to provided specifications. Now, if you have ever done competitive programming, you might know there are a lot of specifications. So, for your inputs, for your outputs, there are constraints everywhere. Also, programming competition generally involves a set of logical or mathematical problems that the contestants are required to write computer programs capable of solving them. So, in a contest, you are given a problem, you are given the problem's statement, and you are supposed to write a computer program uh, that can take the various inputs provided and give the specified outputs. Now, why should you do competitive programming? So, CP enhances your problem solving and debugging skills. Uh, Data structures and algorithms go hand in hand with competitive programming. It is a way to focus on the fundamentals. By the way, if you have never done CP before, it is all about your fundamentals. Like if you know the core basis of a language, and if you know data structures and algorithm well, trust me, you will be good with competitive programming. Now, it will also prepare you for your technical interviews. So, some of you might know that during the hiring part of any kind of firm, they have a test where the first round is generally a coding interview. And in coding interviews, there are problems regarding competitive programming. So, if you can't clear that, you won't be there for the round twos and round threes. And the only reason why I do it for is because it's fun. Like I enjoy solving problems and giving myself mental challenges. Now, what languages should you choose for competitive programming? Now, this is a screenshot from CodeChef's website that it accepts languages. It accepts all of these languages. But to be true, like some of these names, even I don't know them. Like what are their full forms? Uh, but the popular ones are C, C++, Java, and Python. And in my knowledge, C and C++ are mostly used by the like elite level programmers, and it is generally like best thing for competitive programming. But again, if you are a fresher trying to start with competitive programming, you can choose any of this and you will be good. Now, what about the platforms? Like for competitive programming, the community is very active, and there are lots and lots of platforms. If you all might be using YouTube, like you might have got a lot of ads of Algo Expert, right? So yet again, that is a platform to practice competitive programming on. But here are some more. So we have CodeChef.com. We have Code Forces. Code Forces is, by the way, really good. So do once check it out. We have Top Coder. We have spoj.com. We have Geeks for Geeks. Now, Geeks for Geeks provides us with really good materials to solve our problems and really good editorials. Again, leadcode.com, AdCoder, and HackerEarth. Now, how do you start your journey to competitive programming? So the first thing would be to learn a programming language. So pick any of these languages like C, C++, Java, or Python. Start learning it. Then choose a platform to practice the questions on. So again, we discussed the platforms, right? Choose anyone you like. Now,
सर
the important. Yes.
सर किसी का माइक चालू है सर, डिस्टर्बेंस हो रहा है थोड़ा.
Okay. Everyone, make sure your mic is off. Okay. Now let's continue. So the third step, you will have to learn data structures and algorithms because that is the core part of competitive programming. And the next step involves practicing, and that is practicing a lot. Like some really good programmers, they practice all day for competitive programming. They solve about 10 to 15 questions a day. That too, medium and hard ones, not the easy ones. Then you have to keep competing in contests. Like one thing good about the contests is they can win you some good prizes. So I would tell you like my own experience. I participated in Tech Geek's Code Gladiator once. That was probably the year 2018. And I received an Amazon voucher of 500 rupees. So like that was a really happy moment for me. Like that was my very first earning from coding. And the most important part, have fun during doing all this, right? So, well, now we have decided that we have picked a language, we have picked uh, a spot to do the practice on. But what is the like real use of programming in real life applications, right? Let's see that. So, considering India, everyone has an Aadhaar card and a SIM card, right? So let's
यस
suppose there
सर.
are, yes,
नो सर, कंटिन्यू सर, कंटिन्यू.
okay. So let's suppose there are a billion Aadhaar cards and SIM cards, that is 100 crores, and we know that each and every SIM card is linked to an Aadhaar card, right? So we have a problem statement here. A telecom company has to fetch the postal address, that is the address of the resident, uh, details from the Aadhaar card itself, but they only have the SIM card numbers. So how will they do it? Then let's suppose we have a database that stores the links of SIM card and Aadhaar cards. So here is the SIM card associated with this Aadhaar card. Now we have that database, but yet again we have another data, that is the list of Aadhaar cards, which gives us the Aadhaar card number and the details it has, that is the residential address and everything else, right? So now I have to choose a SIM card. For that, I will have to go through all of this list. So I will have to compare whether my SIM card number equals to this number, or whether it equals to this number, or is it this number or something else. So I will have to perform 10 to the power 9 operations just to find my SIM card, right? And once I have found my SIM card, I would have its corresponding Aadhaar card. But yet again, to find the residential address of that respective Aadhaar card, I will have to go through this list to find the Aadhaar card number and then retrieve its address. So that would be about 10 to the power 9 operations for finding a SIM card and 10 to the power 9 operations for finding its relevant Aadhaar card. So that would be about 10 to the power 18 operations in total. Now, if you guys don't know the scale of it, it is really a huge number. And I will prove you that just in a second. So a computer, this days computer can perform about 10 to the power 9 operations in a second. It is basically a gigahertz. Now, 10 to the power is this much used. So let's find out how much time would it take to do those 10 to the power 18 operations, right? So this is basic cross multiplication that we might have learned during maths in our schools, right? So that is 10 to the power 18 operations divided by 10 to the power 9 operations a second. So that is 10 to the power 9 seconds. And that is a lot of minutes, a lot of hours, a lot of days, which the total comes down to 31.7 years just to do what? Find a SIM card linked with its Aadhaar card, right? And that is no way practical at all. So we need to find a better solution for this. One of the solution could be we can store the data in ascending order. Now, to those of you who know somewhat of CP or know somewhat of programming might already know where we are going with this. Once we have the data in ascending order, we can use the binary search algorithm and we will be able to find it just in 30 operations. So that would be still, we are not doing the binary search algorithm for SIM cards, just to show you something, right? So 10 to the power 9 operations for finding the SIM cards, and then we do 30 operations for finding the Aadhaar card. So that would be 10 to the power 9 operations in a second our computer does. So for doing 30 into 10 to the power 9 operations, all we need is 30 seconds now. See, we were at 32 years previously, and now we are down to 30 seconds. Isn't it wonderful, right? Now, I have a challenge for you. Like, can anyone bring it down even more? Like a really good solution, if anyone could propose it. Go ahead. Just take a guess. Like, even though it's wrong, it doesn't matter.
सर
Yes.
एक बार रिपीट करो ना थोड़ा.
The same part.
यस सर.
Okay. So we had like our data of Aadhaar cards, right? Let's suppose we sort it in ascending order. So the Aadhaar card would be Aadhaar card 1, Aadhaar card number 2, Aadhaar card number 3, and it will go on till Aadhaar card number 10 to the power 9. Now, on sorted data, to find an element, we can use the binary search algorithm. And binary search algorithms runs in log n time. So log n time is basically equal to 30 operations for the case of 10 to the power 9 operations. So previously, when we wanted to search for Aadhaar card number X, we had to search through all the list, that is 10 to the power 9 numbers of elements. But now we can do it in about 30 operations. So the total size of our operations will be 30 into 10 to the power 9, because we are still using the old method for the SIM cards, right? Now, we know that our computer does 10 to the power 9 operations in 1 second. So how much time will it take to do 30 into 10 to the power 9 operations? Again, the cross multiplication that we devised earlier, right? So that will be equal to 30 seconds. Now, So we were down from 32 years to 30 seconds, but 30 seconds is still huge. Like, can we do anything better? Everyone, I am asking you guys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Any better solution to this problem? Okay, we have got one in the chat. Oh yes, it is a really good solution as well. Like, okay, the solution says we can search the SIM cards only, and we can link the Aadhaar card numbers and the Aadhaar card details itself in that link. So we will have to do only 10 to the power 9 operations to find the SIM card and find the details associated with that as well. So it will only take us 1 second. Now, but again, there is a problem to it. We are a telecom company, right? And we only have the telephone numbers and the linked Aadhaar card numbers. To find the Aadhaar card details, we have to send the data to the government because we don't have the details of Aadhaar. So the solution that you devised won't be working in that case because we don't have the details of the Aadhaar card. So anyone else with something better than 30 seconds? Come on, we have two solutions over here that I can think of right now. Anyone would like to try? No, no one? Okay. So I will show you both the solutions, right? Like I told you guys, we are still doing 10 to the power 9 operations for SIM card. Like sort these as well. We can do this again in 30 operations, right? So that would be 30 into 30 operations. That is just 900 operations. So that throws it down to really, really like small amount of time. That would be in microseconds or milliseconds. That will be 900 divided by 10 to the power 9 operations. And it would be really small. But to those one of you who might want to go even lower, and those who know somewhat of competitive programming, the best case scenario would be using hash maps. So you could basically do the same. Okay, I'm sorry, we have something more in the chat. Okay, so we will send the particular number to the government and they will send you through the mail. Okay. But it would still take a good amount of time, right? Sending mails and receiving them from the government, like they are too slow, aren't they? So, okay. Let's continue with it. So what if we use hash maps? Then we can do is find our SIM cards in a single operations. Now, if you are like really beginners, you won't be knowing what a hash map is. But when you go out and learn what a hash map is, you will think this problem is very easy. So one operation for finding SIM card and one operation for finding the Aadhaar card as well. So that boils it down to two operations only. So two operations. And so further, when we were using the binary search algorithm, we were at 900 operations. So consider how much less time would just doing two operations would take, right? So now let's look at the kind of errors that you might face while doing competitive programming. The first one is compilation error. This error occurs when you have a syntax error in your program, or that is generally because the executable file was not able to was not created after the compilation time. So that is generally a syntax error, a missing semicolon, or a mistyped or a typo, right? Next up, the important one, time limit exceeded. So the this error comes when your programs exceeds the time limit. So this generally means that the algorithm that you are using takes a lot of time. So if we are given this problem statement again, yeah, if we are given this problem statement again, and we are told to devise an algorithm that runs in a single second, see this algorithm, it won't run because it takes about 31 years, right? So if you use this solution to that problem, you would be given a time limit exceeded error. So now memory limit exceeded. So this gener this error generally comes when you are using a lot of storage space, whereas the question allows you only to use a really specific amount of storage space. Now we have runtime errors. Runtime errors, you might know, um, that is when the program terminates with a non-zero exit code, or it throws an uncaught OS exceptions. Now, runtime errors occur because when we try to access an array, let's suppose an array that has been allocated a size of 10, but we try to access its 11th element. So the that has never been initialized. So the program throws an zero exit code. So it would be a runtime error. Now, wrong answers. This means that your code is running well, but the answer that you have given is completely wrong. So you will have to check your logic for that. And this is not exactly an error, it is the accepted. And this one literally brings stars to our eyes. So it is when the program passes all the test cases that have been provided. Now, that was a lot to talk about competitive programming, right? Let's get you started with some real competitions. So we have curated a practice contest for all of you, which is given at this link. But before we dive into the competition, uh, I would like to thank our friends at DSC SCET for organizing this event. And I would like to thank you all for attending this workshop, right? So you will be provided with the link to the contest in the chat box. You can go ahead and access it there. The contest runs till 2 p.m. It starts at 11 a.m. It starts at 11 a.m. exactly. And it has 5 very easy questions that you can start off your journey with.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So, before everyone starts their journey with competitive programming, I would like to say that even though you are new to this, you don't know much of about programming or competitive programming. You're not very good at any language, but you always have to start somewhere. Okay, we have seen so many technologies are there that you can learn to get a job to make a career. Okay, but there is also competitive programming. You might not know about it, but competitive programming is a very much preferred choice for the companies that hire software engineers. Okay, if you have heard about TCS, TCS conducts Code Vita every year to select software engineers based on competitive programming competitions. Then there are competitions on CodeChef, Hackerath. These competitions also help you increase your skills. If you don't know very much about all the different algorithms, but when you start competitive programming, when you face error, when you feel like you need some other logic, you go on reading other people's code. You go on exploring algorithms online. So that is the way that you'll start learning. And to tell you by my self experience, me and Hardik, we both started competitive programming in first year. We discovered CodeChef. It's a very good platform to practice because of the amount of difficulties offered and the amount of competitions are held 3 times every month. That's just by CodeChef, and there are many other different platforms like Hacker and everything. So the thing that happened with us that we didn't knew anyone, that we didn't have community like this. So when we faced error, when we had some doubts, there was no one that we could ask, and we had to do everything with ourselves. Luckily, we had some seniors who were practicing already, so we asked them, and then we cleared our doubts. But for you, we have right now a community. So there are groups. You can ask us on Instagram. You can ask on the DSC groups or anywhere. If you face any kind of problem, if you have any doubts regarding competitive programming, you can definitely ask us. And just remember that you have to start somewhere. Even if you don't know that much right now, but as you progress, as you start, you'll get to know, you'll gain skills, and then you will really enjoy competitive programming. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining today. You can start your competitive programming journey. You can visit this website and you can try out few questions as you like.
So everyone, thank you for attending the workshop. See you at the contest. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you everyone and goodbye.